people simply just don't want to earn that spot, which is why a lot of males just simply aren't kings. And in order to be a king, you have to go through the process. Even with the movie 300, when he turns around and he explains how they show how he ends up being king, and he goes off for a period of time to go through the process of training, and then he has to kill that wolf towards the end of his process of training that they show. That's a process that you have to go through to actually show that you're worthy to be a king. You just running around talking about, hey, king, blah, 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 blah. What have you proven? What's going on? It's WillMyCraven. Hitting you with another video today. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And without further ado, I'm gonna jump right into this topic. Kings. So I was having a conversation today with a friend, and she was mentioning a few things, and it turned around and made me have the statement that said, well, unfortunately, most males aren't kings. They're merely slaves. And she was a little taken by that statement, but I ended up explaining why most males aren't kings. And I've had this conversation with my guy before, which was funny because after me and her had that conversation, he sends me a link. He sends me a link with a guy talking about kings. It's like, hey, bro, check this out, man. We've had this conversation plenty of times. And in the process, I click on it after I switch over from the conversation with her. And I view it, I'm like, yeah, I've definitely said this and a whole lot more, a whole lot of times. And it's kind of interesting that most of the time when I say it, most people don't really like it. It's like, oh, you hating. But the harsh reality is that there aren't that many kings. On top of the fact that everybody now wants to be the top dog. Like, top dog, you have to earn that spot. And a lot of people simply just don't want to earn that spot, which is why a lot of males just simply aren't kings. And in order to be a king, you have to go through the process. Even with the movie 300, when he turns around and he explains how they show how he ends up being king, and he goes off for a period of time to go through the process of training, and then he has to kill that wolf towards the end of his process of training that they show. That's a process that you have to go through to actually show that you're worthy to be a king. You just running around talking about, hey, king, blah, 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 blah. What have you proven? Have you proven the mental fortitude that it takes to be a king? Now, you see, it don't necessarily take the strength. Yes, the strength is necessary and the fighting is necessary to prove that you're actually worthy for when a process actually comes. But the reality is that you have to have the mental fortitude. You have to have the ability to be able to plan out and outmaneuver your opponent. A lot of guys can't do that. And which is what I told her. I said it's a lot of males actually are slaves because they worship their mother. So how does males worship their mother? Well, it's easy to see when you look at the athletes and entertainers, in which a lot of males are in that position because a lot of them are trying to get to that entertainer, they're trying to get to that athlete position, actor or whatever, because those are the type of positions that seem to be most lucrative. So we see athletes, when they make it, they turn around and they give all the praise to their mother and all the worship and, oh, I did this because, You know what I'm saying? I was fighting because of how my family was and my mother was struggling. So they went and got that position, not because they truly desired it for themselves. They desired it because their mother was in a position that they didn't like, which breeded a whole different mentality. So now their mentality is fixated on trying to get their family, their mother, mainly out of that position. And a lot of them will turn around and tell you the story. Oh, when I finally made it, I bought my mama such and such and such. You know, it was no object. Money was no object because I could afford it now, and my mama deserved this. That's not king mentality. That's you serving somebody else. And now that you fulfill that need that you wanted to do, now you didn't do it for you. You did it for her. But the difference with the king is doing it. The king does whatever he does. Basically, when he's in that position, he's doing that for his offspring, and he wants his son to turn around and take over. So he's turning around and teaching him everything that he needs to do to be a king. Just as the same way we saw with Leonidas, he was teaching his son everything necessary to be the next king. And that's not just the only move. What was that? Braveheart? Well, the king was totally disappointed in how his son was maneuvering, and he was over there with another guy, and he wanted him to be with the queen. Approval. The father is teaching the son how his job is to teach him how to be a king. And in order to be a king, you have to have that foundational teaching from the king himself. So, a lot of you all have not even had the ability, let alone the privilege to be taught by an actual king. So I'm sure there's going to be some people out there that say, well, what makes you a king? First of all, I don't even consider myself as a king. I don't call myself as a king. I mean, yeah, I did do a video where I said, you know, it's kind of mighty funny how Prince William was in line to be king, but there's a whole process that he had to go through. Just as well as Prince Harry. He's a prince. And he's actually has the jurisdiction to call himself a prince. So there are channels and processes that you have to go through. A lot of you are more like jesters, peasants. You're at the way bottom of the totem pole. But you think, because we're in this society now where it's a everybody gets a trophy. Oh, king, man. So it's a bunch of kings and no workers, huh? It's a bunch of kings and no knights. I call myself a knight, quick, fast, in a hurry, because at the end of the day, a knight can actually become a king. A knight gonna actually serve. A knight gonna actually be a loyal. A knight is gonna actually carry out duties that need to actually happen. And which, considering the fact that my name is William, my full name is William, and it ain't just Will, it's William. Those were generally your knights, Sir William, noble. So that don't even bother me if I wasn't even considered a king, because I ain't even trying. I'm not aspiring for that position, because that position, even though there are things within my reservoir as far as tools go that can actually push me into that position, it's not something I actually just go after, chasing after. Because there are so many things in life that you have to hit. You have to hit so many aspects that necessary in order to be a bona fide leader. You as a king is supposed to be a bona fide leader. But a lot of you couldn't even lead yourself out of a wet paper bag. And a wet paper bag, you move a little bit, it's going to bust that joint wide open. So that's saying a lot. You want to be a king, and a lot of you ladies out here and women out here calling these males kings that don't even deserve the title. They're more like gestures. They're fit to be comical. They're fit to entertain. They're not fit to lead. They're fit to entertain. A king leads. He has to take into account what's in his kingdom. He has to make assessments. And that's a whole nother reason why I say a lot of these dudes out here are not kings. A lot of you dudes out here, you dance to the drum of your child's mother. She runs the show. She tell you what to do, how to do, when to see your kid, when you can't see your kid, take your kid from you, tell you to cough up your money, and if you don't cough up your money, you're going to jail. That is not the life of a king. A king don't move like that. And what he will do is be no nonsense. Mess with the things that he value the most. It's no nonsense. And he gonna lay that hammer down. So, a lot of you all think you kings, but you bow down to your children's mother. She wears the pants. She sits on the throne, and you do not. Now, like I said, I have the credentials, enough to actually have to say I could be one of those, but I don't. My son right over there on that camera. Every day we wake up, even though I'm not married, every day we wake up, same house. Like I said, I can actually say it, but that's not something I aspire to be. I'm cool with being, if I had to have a title, with being a knight, even though I ain't even really big on titles. I've never been big on titles. That's one of the reasons why, I say I got this church background, but people don't see me like that in church atmosphere like that because it's too titlely for me. And then you gotta put your heart on your sleeve or stick your chest out because like you have some type of meaning. True leaders don't need all that. They don't need that type of validation. We just get out here and we do what we're supposed to do. Just like Father's Day is vastly approaching. I don't care nothing about that. I do what I'm supposed to. I laid down, made a child, regardless of how it happened. Responsible. That I did that. I can't get out of that situation. Therefore, I'm going to be responsible. Therefore, I'm going to be there every day. He can honestly say for majority of the most important things, that's probably a 0.25%, however percent that I wasn't available for. But other than that, available for everything necessary. Make the time necessary. That's responsibility. That's called leadership. That's true leadership. Getting in there and doing it when you don't feel like doing it. That's leadership. And making sure it gets done. And not being usurped by an authority to a woman. But like I said, man, it's amazing to me, man. A lot of guys out here roll like Simba. A lot of guys out here roll like Timon. A lot of guys out here roll like Pumbaa. And it's definitely a lot of guys out here rolling like the hyenas. But I'm going to break that down coming up real soon. Because the same chick who I was having this conversation with was like, yeah, the more you talk about Lion King, the more I see everything. So, yeah. With that being said, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Fix your face, fix your spirit. And as I always say, be easy.